Martinez maintenance? Or?
Yeah, same. Yeah, he was just a little bit sore from the game. Nothing major at all, and same as all the other guys. We really have no update. They're just all just a little bit banged up, and it's this time of the year. We're not going to push that envelope.
So you want to get Lardis and Nazar right back on the horse? Yeah,
I think so. And I thought there were some spells where they had a couple good little bursts, but I don't think the puck really bounced their way last night. So I think to get them out there again tomorrow, and then might get them a little more power play time with some of the guys not in the lineup, and we'd like to see that as well.
Craig Smith, as his career has gone on, it seems like he's more efficient. I think he got 10, 12 minutes in Boston and Dallas. And what do you see from him? And just it seems like he can do a lot less.
He's a big guy, big body. He's a lot bigger than I thought he was, and he plays with a lot of energy. And like we saw last night, even I thought he was great. He could have had 2 or 3 goals last night, and I think that's what he's going to be for us. He's going to be a guy that if someone's not going, I can easily throw out anywhere. I think he's just that guy that can complement because of his work ethic and his body and his size, and he uses it. And if he gets the puck, he's going to shoot it. So we know that, and I'd like to utilize that as much as possible. So I think he's probably used to playing like in a lower role in the league on the bottom 6, but I think he's a guy that's probably been at times on a second power play unit and bumped up when someone's in a penalty box or banged up or in the dressing room or whatever. He's a guy that I think would be very reliable and put him out to get those extra minutes for him, which is great, but also really help out the team, because we saw last night he loves scoring goals. He's like, everybody loves scoring goals, but he really loves scoring goals, and I thought it was a good example in the video today of him not giving up, just shooting the puck and then turning away. He stopped on the play, and Gustafsson kind of went a little too far, and it gave him room to score that goal before the goalie could recover. And that's just a great example of a goal scorer.
Have you talked to Arvid Soderblom about his situation? It's obviously kind of unusual, where he was in the NHL all of last year, and you probably will be in Rockford when Brossoit comes back, but for now, you're still relying on him and just all the various things he has to keep in mind.
No, I think Jimmy and the organization kind of let him know when we signed Brossoit in the summer. It'd be he's still a big part of our organization. We want him to, and he's had some really good games. Like, he had a good start to the year last year, but I think as our team depleted a little bit, and we were a little bit slight on the back end even at times, that there were some backdoor goals, and that shakes the confidence of a goaltender, and you can't just get it back in this league by playing. So sometimes you just have to work on your game, just kind of like we had Vlasic go down and work on his game for a full year, and even Kaiser last year for half a year, and how much it did for them. I think the same thing goes for a goalie, maybe even more so. So I know Jimmy's talked to him lots, and Arvid's come in with a great attitude, and he's in great shape and working hard. So we'll just see where it goes, because you never know with injuries. Brossoit can come back, and not to jinx yourselves, but Mraz might have to have a break too. And we're ready for it now. I think it's good. I think Arvid's had some really good games in this league, and some success, especially early last year against Toronto, one of the better scoring teams in the league. So I think that's great. Then if we do need a third guy to come in here, it's not a guy that hasn't played or a guy that hasn't played much. I think we have a little bit of more depth in that position now too.
What have you seen from Isaac Phillips progressing? You worry about him being waivers eligible?
Yeah, he's a big guy that can skate, and I think he's showed a little progression each year. And this year, I think he's really showing his physicality, and that's what we've asked for in them over the last few years. And it's not playing stupid, running around chasing people. It's just when guys are in his area, he's knocking them over. And I think for a big defenseman, there's not a lot of them like that anymore, especially that can skate like him. And I think just working on his agility always, that's going to help as well. And just sometimes just making a simple play, and he doesn't need to lead the rush, but he can always join the rush because he's got that speed. And I think I see him trying to implement that into his game. So that's a smart thing by him, because he just wants to be noticed in a good way every game. As a defenseman, you don't want to get noticed when something goes bad, because it just seems like spotlight's on the defenseman a little more than the forwards.
Do you expect to make some roster moves by the end of this weekend?
Just depends on numbers of bodies that are need some time off, and we'll have to keep a few more around probably. And not to say that if we do make a roster split in the next week or so that we wouldn't bring someone back, get another look at some games later on at the end. I think we did that before as well. So
talking to Jason Dickinson, he said that he's noticed there's less teaching going on overall with the new veterans, more veterans being here, but also there's still one-on-one mentoring going on. What do you?
Yeah, no, I think so, and I think the veterans can help out in that area for sure. We rely on them, always did, but now we have more of them, so it's great. And just send little messages through the veterans. Sometimes you get the message across to a teammate in a little bit different language, but it's the same message, and it's received a little better. And I think when you hear it from your teammate and your coach, it goes along, it starts to resonate a little bit. So I kind of use that tool a little bit as much as I can. Not too much, just a little bit. They have to have their own relationships and have their own dress room. But, for me, I think dialing back a little bit of training camp of all drills and having a little bit more scrimmage, it lets, we actually film the scrimmages. So we use a few of the clips. They're not the greatest compared to the camera angles in a real game, but definitely useful. And I kind of just thought that was a good way to go at camp this year, and I think the guys liked it. And now we're starting to kind of chip away. Today was definitely a little bit more on some communication in the D zone and stop it in isolated situations that we saw last night that we can really kind of rectify it. And I thought walking through the D zones today worked really well. Some questions in the video room, which was great. Get some feedback and have some hard rules kind of on those questions, so it's very clear for forwards and the defense, and we can make progression every day off of that.
With the forward group specifically, there's a lot of new guys that are here and trying to find their spot in the lineup and good combinations. Are you looking for, coming into the season, getting more chemistry with guys, or focusing more on just trying different combinations and seeing what works as you get closer to the start of the season?
I think both, and I think the second part will come first. I'm going to have to try some combinations as the exhibition games go through here, whether it be someone's banged up and can't play, or which happens all year long, or just trying it. And I think and we have 5 more to go, and I'd like to see lots of different scenarios. And even in the game, I like to stick to line combinations so they can be talking within a game and adjust and go. But sometimes if it's not working, or there's some penalty trouble, and I see 3 guys out there and it seems to work, I might just shift it through the game. But I generally don't like to do that unless I have to. But that's something this year we might have to do through the rest of the training camp, because there is lots of new guys, and even Taylor Hall is in that group because I know everybody's seen him for years, but who will he work best with here? We might have to try that a little bit more than other people, just because we only had a couple months with him last year. He just started to kind of get going, and then we lost him, so it really wasn't a full year sample.
We all silly like the mayor.